How you doing, everyone? I am Andy Malfrina. This is Pat George, and welcome to Drag the Fucking Lake. How you doing today, Pat? Let's see your fucking cat. What's he
Yeah,
got? Is he going on a flight today?
my cat has his sweet little neck pillow because look at his little boo boo on his face that he has. He's
What happened to him?
scratching it. Sorry, buddy. He's scratching his face a little too much, and every time we put a cone on him, he feels shame, and the other cats shame him. Uh,
Yeah.
so he's not really functioning with it, but we found this little inflatable neck pillow that he can wear that only makes him feel shame, but he still has functional shame. You see.
Now he just looks like a fat Midwestern going to Disney World for the first time.
Hey, best sleep of his life though.
Your cat's about to ask what the fucking Wi-Fi password is.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god, that was hands down. That was hands down the most one of the most annoying things going to and from Skankfest because I haven't been on a plane for a while before that.
Yeah.
And going to and from Skankfest both times, the people I was sitting next to, they like made it very the flight attendant said it 50,000 times, and they made it very clear in the fucking the like pamphlets and shit that they put in front of you. They were like, and I don't know why. I don't know why this is the case, but they were like, when we're in the sky, because they're because they're trying to get rid of like physical cash, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take away our actual property and turn us into all corporate.
Corporations. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean. You know
Yeah.
how it is.
I know exactly.
WEF,
Hey,
Bill Gates, he wants to clap my cheeks and make
big
me
no
eat
more
bugs.
heroes guy right here. Big
Yeah,
no more heroes.
exactly. And then we got to eat the bugs. We all know this. But yeah, I don't understand why, but they're like, you can't use cash on the plane. You have to put your credit card information into the app. But for some reason, you can only do that before the plane's in the sky. But they made that announcement 7,000 times. And then both flights, both like they said it so many times. They were like, put your fucking credit. We know you're gonna want beer. We know you're gonna want a glass of wine on
Right.
this fucking flight. It's 6 hours. We know
Right.
you're gonna want to get tossed. Fucking put your credit card information in ASAP. And then both flights in the middle of the air, it'd just be like random middle-aged moms, just like, why can't I put my credit card information in? And then like the gay flight attendant, like, you stupid bitch.
Ma'am, I
You
think
said
we
it so
mentioned
many
it.
times, you stupid bitch.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but I don't like I didn't hate the plane as much as I thought I would. I thought I would really like despise planes, just being a thick boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I am getting less thick. You see this shirt?
Yeah,
You see
yeah.
this shirt?
Yeah, what size?
XL,
Ooh,
motherfucker.
look at you,
Suck my
handsome.
dick. Suck
That is
my dick.
nice.
But yes, we got a fun-filled fucking episode. Before we get into it, if you're watching on the PITM page, Drake, suck my dick. Everyone else, thank you for joining us today.
I noticed when it premiered, he was like quick to
Oh, dude,
he's
he's
obviously
on it.
got notifications on. So we
He's
know
on
you're
it out of
watching.
the gate. I don't even think he listens to PITM anymore. He just exists to hate. And what do we do to you? What
Yeah,
do we
what we
do to
do
you
to you, Hey
besides
Drake?
giving you detailed information on the best metalcore bands in 2022?
He's
We're
right.
providing a service,
That's right.
or
He's
whatever his name
wearing
is,
an extra large shirt.
Maverick, whatever. We're just being goofballs either way. Oh, also, yeah, we're double dutying
Mhm.
episodes. We fucked off last week. We're sorry for that. So I actually gotta give you props for that, because I wasn't gonna fucking I wasn't even thinking about scheduling, and I was like, we already did it on Wednesday, and then I waited till Saturday to drop it, and
Yeah.
then you were like, okay, well, we still have to do another episode, and I was just like, all right, you crazy bastard. I'm in on whatever the fuck you're laying down right
Turn
now.
into John Wayne. All right, you crazy best. We just been doing two great John Wayne impressions.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was like,
Pilgrim.
who were you, fucking John Wayne in The Sopranos? Just
Hey,
like,
Gabagool.
give me some gabagool, Pilgrim. But
Stereotype.
yes, welcome. If you're watching on the PITM page, we do give you the link. We do put out some extra music content you can check out there. If you're on the main Drag the Lake page, hit the fucking subscribe button. Thank you for hanging out with us. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So you know us over here at Drag the Lake. We are like, we're a music podcast, but mainly we are the world's #1 no effects podcast.
It's
We all
true.
know this. We have to give the
Yeah.
constant no effects dates, no effects updates. What was the fucking thing they were saying before? No effects expert. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no effects for yeah.
we got Pat, the residential no effects expert. But yeah, all jokes aside, when there is actually some
In
what
all serious though,
in
guys,
all
we have breaking no effects
in
news.
all seriousness, Pat, we found out Fat Mike is Pat's dad.
Yep, that's true.
His original name is actually Pat Mike. Hey
I
guys,
like that.
hey guys, we're having fun here. We're having fun here.
All right, we got a transitioning cat there. All right, we're
But
good.
no, we've been following you know, when we're not busy being Law and Order SVU Swan Core edition detectives. We also keep you up to date. We also keep you up to date on what's going about with NoFX. And we saw this right here just to give you guys a quick little update. Shout out 23 Punk. They seem to be the best Instagram account for like punk rock information and shit like that. But this is kind of interesting considering like last week we were talking about like we did the review for the new NoFX album. What was it called? Double album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so apparently, which I meant to send this to you. I saw a Reddit page. It was a NoFX Reddit page, and they had a whole thread about the new album, and it was everyone was essentially saying what we were saying.
Yeah.
Where they were like, it's fine, but if this is the last NoFX album, I'm fucking bummed.
Right. So
Yeah.
this clearly states. I don't know why they put so many words in here, and I'm not sure what all of these say, but it might as well just be called "Pat Told You So." Because this is what I said. They record or they and I know for a fact they probably already have these in the can. Like these are already done. They may be mixing them, but NoFX plans to release 3 more albums before they break up in 2024.
Yeah, and right here it says literally the same word you just said. According
Yeah.
to Fat Mike, NoFX has 3 more records
Oh
in
wow!
the can already.
I honestly did not click past that first one. I was just like, I fucking told you. I said it out loud. I said, I fucking told you, and I threw my phone on the bed.
Uh,
Yeah.
They got half album, an EP with 5 songs from the same recording session of their last album, so that'll be fine.
Yep.
Everybody else is insane. A studio album that's almost done. Some songs are already recorded, others almost done, and the rest are demoed. And then NoFX A to Z. This album features songs that start with every letter of the alphabet. That's 26 songs. Half of them are different versions of old NoFX songs.
Love it.
So there we go.
This is what I want. I want an anthology. I want a fucking whole if they have the whole Kiss thing where they bring you a big binder and Gene Simmons will come by and lick your tits himself. Like I want that. Like I want to do a line off of this compendium. I want it on multiple. I'll buy it on vinyl probably. You know what I mean? Like this is the shit that you should have given. Like this is what they knew the fans would want. Like that. This album. This honestly. They might as well have given this away for free. I mean, I guess they kind of do if you have a Spotify account. The double album,
yeah,
this might as well have been essentially what a comic, the equivalent of a comic would be like releasing your own special on YouTube. Like,
oh, okay.
You're like, we're gonna promote this. People are gonna start talking about NoFX, and they're gonna go, "What? This is it?" And you'll be like, "No, but wait, there's more." And then boom.
This is actually a good way. This is actually a good way to hype up for the other shit.
Yeah.
Where it was like
put out a dud.
Yeah, I'm trying to like compare it to something, but yeah, it does. It's almost like a false finish in wrestling where you're like, oh yeah, you're like, well, that's the end of the match, and then it's like, nope, and then the music hits and fucking, Stone Cold returns from being gone for however many years, some shit like that.
Yeah, this is the NoFX equivalent of a Cokie the Clown run-in. You know what I mean? Or like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's so right. Like that's so true.
It's because it's one of those things that like the A. You could have just said the A to Z one. I love a NoFX concept album because like that does give you something. I would love to hear NoFX cover all of their albums. Like now, that would be fucking great because it would sound different. They would make changes. They would upgrade. Like that's something that I think more bands should do. Re-record old albums, much like Taylor Swift did.
You know who just did that?
Taylor Swift.
No.
Oh,
wait, she did that?
Yeah, she did that to fuck over corporations, which I do love. The record companies that weren't giving her residues enough residues from her songs being played on streaming services. She
Yeah.
re-recorded all her albums, and those are the ones that people listen to now.
Oh, so 4 Year Strong did the same
Something like
thing
that.
for similar reasons.
Yeah, yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
because for whatever reason, their second album, or I guess technically third, but they
Yeah,
kind of they do the same thing Wonder Years does with their early albums. Wonder Years just they had this like album before they became like a serious band where they
yeah.
just wrote songs about the Fruit Punch Man and Captain Crunch and shit like that. And then they just like after a certain
Fruit
point,
Punch Man, like Hawaiian
yeah,
Punch.
Hawaiian Punch. Yeah,
Oh,
what did I
cool.
say?
Well, you said Fruit Punch Man, and I was like, I didn't know if you meant
I'm
Kool
just
Aid.
trying to
If
avoid
you meant,
copyright laws.
I appreciate it. Hey, the lawyer, like I said, the lawyers talked to us. They set us down. They said, guys, don't talk about this. Don't talk about this. Don't mention up Gavin again. Or, oh, sorry,
Who?
Dance or Gavin or any of the words. We are
You
not
guys
supposed
can
to say
say
those.
you you guys can say dance once. You can't say
Yeah,
Gavin
yeah.
dance.
You
You can
can't say
only say
Gavin dance.
dance.
Shit, we're gonna have to cut this out.
Oh shit. That was my favorite part about when I was on Real Ass Podcast the one time, and I was because like one of the last two times I was on was when the Dance Gavin Dance shit first broke, and I brought it up, and Lewis just kept saying, "Oh, the Gavins." I was like, "Yes, yes, that is what they're called." You know
Gavin,
what?
Gavin, hey,
That's great. That's great. I'm not correcting you. I
yeah,
love that.
that's a better name. You're right. That's a better name.
But 4 Years Strong. That's what I was talking about. They
Did they
wait. I had so
did
many thoughts that I started because I
did
did
they
have that.
re-record songs?
Oh yeah, no, I was like, wait, why was I talking about the Wonder Years? It was because I was just talking to them with Tyler Langley's. We went to a show together recently, and it was funny. I actually was at the last show that the Wonder Years were like, this first album we fucking hate. This is the last show we're ever doing these songs at, and I just happened
Yeah.
to be at that show, which was really cool. Oh, but 4 Year Strong. By the way, anyone listening, my nose is incredibly blocked up, so while I am making fat sounds, a lot of this is because I can't breathe through my nose. I just want to put that out there.
I can't hear
And
fat sounds through the Zoom, so I don't know if that's picking up on the recording. So I think
well,
you might be okay.
I was watching the video from last episode, and the sound comes through way clearer than I thought. So I gotta really get my shit together with these like fucking fat noises. There was a whole segment on panties where
I
Lemaire was like,
remember.
"What are you doing?
Yeah, the
What
breathing.
is your
Yeah,
fucking face doing right now?"
I wonder if it picked up. I had a lot of farts near the end of the last episode. Let me know. Pound off in the comments if you heard any of those farts near the end because they were pretty bad smelling.
Yeah.
But we were
Oh,
talking about 4 Years Strong re-recording their
oh
song.
yeah. So their second album, Enemy of the World, they re-recorded the whole album because for whatever reason, whatever deal they had, they didn't have the rights to sell that album on vinyl.
Oh, yeah. See,
So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
they re-recorded it. They re-recorded it so they could just sell it on vinyl because like it makes sense. Vinyl's big right now.
Yeah, her thing was something like that also. Like it was something I think it was with the streaming services or residuals, but she
Yeah.
recorded her albums. But what I
Yeah.
was thinking was I think it's awesome that bands would re-record their albums even like the full they've actually done this before and I think you mentioned it in that post. I don't know if it was something like that, but it was 46 or 47 songs that weren't good enough to go on our other albums.
Yeah.
It's a dual disc a release that they put out, which is one that songs that were never included on any albums, but they were on like
I
compilations.
had that
EP.
album.
It's incredible
It's pretty
because
good. Yeah.
the second one is where they re-recorded the Surfer EP or their and some of their other releases and stuff like that. Just one take all the way through in a studio, and it's
Yeah.
like it's like it's almost like being at a NoFX recording. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like they make it like a mix between the show and the recording. You know what I mean? It's very.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really interesting concept in general. I think that the Chariot did that as well with everything is alive, everything is breathing.
Yeah. Their
Nothing is
first album's
dead.
one take, right?
I don't know if that's the first their full album. I think might be that might be their first one because before that was the Unsung EP. I think it might
Yeah.
come after that, but I don't know if I'm getting the order right. But those and both of those albums are some of my favorites from those bands. So I know it's not technically a studio album, but the release itself, NoFX's thing. So that's why the A to Z one really gets me hype because I
That
love
gets you like
them.
genuinely excited.
Yeah, like that's like if they said that was their last album, I would go fuck yeah. and I know it's going to be something new, something different, and something that
Yeah.
will, when they do something new, I like when they put out these new versions of themselves every couple of years, like most bands do. I feel like, now I'm making fat noises. I feel like I always am a fan of it. Like they
You do
always
that weird. You do that weird fat guy bass. Or like,
like I'm like, it's like the indigestion kind of fucking coffee burp.
yeah,
But
you got that. You got that spit bubble in your throat that's congealed from all the fucking red sauce that's in you. I know there's a lot of red sauce in you.
gravy, lots of gravy.
Yeah, I can hear the heartburn spewing out of you.
They the little gurgles in the back of your throat, you know. But no, I feel like, damn it, what was I just saying? If that was the last album, that would be great. Oh, the new versions of themselves that they kind of put out every couple of years. I always some like one of their albums the most, and the other two, like I said, double album is kind of like at the ass end of the last one. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, all right,
Dude, I'll say it again. I think double album is just like B-sides and shit.
yeah, it's just it to me. It's, I feel like it was a not a troll, but
No.
almost like this feels like it's becoming more calculated as it goes, or maybe this is exactly how they wanted it to be the whole time. Like, announce it in a comment. You know what I mean? Like, that's, they never did. I don't think they ever put out an official release. It was just that comment saying we're gonna break up, and that's just what it's been now. All the
Yeah.
like, now it's just a conversation. They never had to have a big, we are gonna, here's an official thing. Melvin put out his own solo thing where he covered War on Airism, and it sounds okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what, so they're definitely moving on to other things,
Yeah.
but this gets me actually excited, and also like, now I'm gonna miss them because I'm gonna miss stuff like that.
Yeah.
That makes me miss them.
It
Double album
reminds you
didn't make me
of
miss them.
it reminds you of like cool shit that they do.
Yeah, like interesting things that they still do and that they still can do. It just doesn't make sense to me why they would break up. I still don't know if they're going to actually break up, but I'm excited that we would at least get these albums before they pass on. What the fuck
Yeah.
are you doing? The little one.
Yeah,
Static.
was he asking for more fucking peanuts?
No, that one was just being a piece of shit.
Oh, okay. Piece
She
of
was
shit.
attacking. She was attacking my team's my flag.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty I'm happy about this because like we all know this listening to the podcast. I like NoFX, but I'm not like a fan in any close context to how you're a fan. But at the same time, like I've said it before, and you kind of reinforced it with talking about how they like announced this album or the last album and their breakup and all that shit just through like Instagram comments, which sort of reinforces they're the most punk rock band ever. Unless I get better information, I'm like going to the grave with that. They're the most punk rock band ever.
Yeah.
Um,
Like it or
and
not. Hey, like it or not. That's true.
yeah, I think it's true. I think they're the most punk rock band ever. But at the same time, like they're fucking no effects. They're fucking legends. And if they were gonna go out with just double album, that would be a bummer.
That would be that would feel like a fizzle out.
Yeah, and this feels like a way more punk way to go out because I think people get caught up in the whole like I don't fucking care. I don't care about fucking anything. And you're like, no, it's like it's okay. It's punk rock to care.
This
You know
is
what I mean? So it's like it's cool. I don't like when people get lost in the sauce on the fucking like nothing fucking matters. I don't care about anything. It's like no,
no.
like there's been fans investing for a while. Go out with like a good dismount. You know what I mean? Run up to the bar, do your fucking flips, and fucking land it and give everyone the ta-da. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hit them with the ta-da.
Because we know you can do it. And if you are clean living, sober thinking adults that are able to reflect, and you've had all this experience, not just like reps, like playing the songs, playing music all this time, but playing with each other, like you can actually do something really special to kind of close this out, because like they deserve it too. This is the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up a weird theory. Like one of Fat Mike's favorite band, like he loves Bad Religion. He also loves the Misfits, stuff like that. And Misfits is a band that I think everybody is familiar with, but maybe doesn't. There's various levels of fandom. It's a spectrum. But like from Metallica to like Fat Mike to like everybody like has covered Misfits songs. So
Yeah.
everybody knows the Fiend Skull. They're like one of the biggest, but there's also a ton of like box sets that are like a big coffin, and there's like, like they have Ramones box sets. That's like it's like a comic book that comes with all these other things. There's all these compendiums, and these bands. I like the Misfits. I think they're a really good band. I like earlier Misfits, and I even like some new Misfits. Sorry guys, Michael Graves isn't that bad, but if they can have these box sets and stuff like that. NoFX is responsible. They own the record company. They own all of their own stuff. There's not just this thing that's pumping out this products, but dude, we would buy them. Like that's the thing. I don't think NoFX. Maybe it's a poor self image, or if they truly have that punk mindset of like fuck it, we're not gonna market. But like he obviously markets stuff. You know what I mean? He jokes about how he's a Jewish business owner and all that shit. Like we
Yeah.
would like a NoFX box set, more documentary stuff, like more not just shirts and hoodies and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like put together a little dealio so we can kind of appreciate them. Like it's a good retirement kind of like Kiss does it, Misfits do it. Like I said, the Ramones get it. Other bands like fucking you get all this masterwork shit. Like they have masterworks. They can, and they're obviously of the mindset now where they're going to go out with one of those with a big bang.
Yeah.
Give us a life's work thing. I don't know.
Like a retrospective.
Yeah, like something like you've seen. I'm talking about with like the Misfit stuff where it's like this big like coffin and it has like 4 or 5. At the time, it was like FYE or something like that. So it was like some CD store, Specs Music or some shit. But
Yeah.
it was like a coffin like this size, and it had like all of the albums in it. It looked really cool. It had like the Fiend and shit like that. Like it looked cool as shit. Like that's the kind of stuff but they don't really have a like a mascot. So I don't know. They could maybe that's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Misfits don't really, or I'm sorry, NoFX doesn't really have a mascot. Koki the Clown's kind of a mascot, but
Yeah, do it like that. Yeah, like make it like a clown's trunk.
I'm sure they
Yeah.
will. Like fucking I know I always joke and I bring up Gallows, but they will still like they haven't I think in the past I'm trying to think when they properly broke up. They never had like a official announcement, but they just kind of noticeably stopped playing music together.
Mhm.
Um and then over the course of when that ended, yeah. 2015 was when they had like it was kind of understood like no more Gallows, and then they played like one, maybe two shows since then. So between like now and 2015, they've probably played like two shows. But ever since then, and I've bought one or two of them, ever since then, their record label, because their record label is run by their old guitarist, they've put out like Gallows merch here and there as like a collector's item and shit. And I've purchased one or two of those just because they're pretty sick. But yeah, no, it is a thing where you can do it. You just have to focus on giving people something they actually like want or could use, because the problem with any of those bands like the Ramones, Kiss, Misfits, they have a tendency to like they don't do it as much. They don't. Let me move my cell phone. Probably really annoying. They don't do it as much anymore because no one really wants CDs. But like back when we were younger, like a fucking big band like that, I feel like every 3 years they'd put out a new greatest hit CD or like
Yeah.
a new
Yeah.
a new ultimate super spec. Oh, here's a bunch of actually, this is a really good question. Did you ever give a shit when they would post out like when they would put out like the super fucking 4 or 5 disc bonus content, and they would just make a slew of fucking demos and all this other shit? I never really got excited for the demo tracks all the time unless this demo sounded drastically different than the songs.
Yeah.
Cause I'm always just like if it was like a live session, that'd be one thing, but they would have a whole album of demos that just
No,
sounded
do you
like
want to hear that
work.
same song but just unmixed?
Yeah. You're like, it's the same. Like when it was the same song, I was like, I don't fucking care
Yeah, yeah.
at all.
I think you're right. I like bonus tracks for sure, but maybe not necessarily like you said. If it's a one take, like I was talking about earlier, like the Chariot or the them re-recording their EP or something, like them doing a one live performance or even a live thing, like no or not no effects, Refused in the Shape of Punk to Come like deluxe release. It's like double the tracks, but the whole second half is just a live show. And they
Yeah.
do play a lot of the same songs from that same album from the Shape of Punk to Come, but they also play some older songs. It doesn't even sound great. It actually sounds kind of like shit, but I still bought it because I'm a dumb asshole.
Yeah.
And I think it's because Epitaph, the band, or no, it might have been Burning Heart at that time. I think they just want to continue. They know that this is a very influential album, and I'm a fucking Refused mark, and I'll just buy whatever they release. That's like this is new because at the time they still weren't back together. So I was like, it was new Refused music that I had never heard, and even
Yeah.
though it was a lot of the same songs and it didn't sound great, it was still and it was still recorded at that time back in 1998 around that time. I
Yeah.
was still really excited to hear it because it was just new. So if you're a diehard fan, you will rebuy the same songs over and over again. I bought the last Ramones like compendium, special disc thing I bought was like that big comic book thing. That's the one that I bought.
What's that?
It was I was just looking up. So I was looking up box sets here. So this is the Misfits ones that I was telling you about. Look at how many there are.
Yeah.
They have like
See, I think that's
toys. They
that's
have
the
like
thing. That's the thing you're not gonna get from fucking No Effects is
look at
like,
this. Look, no effects box set. No, just this lady made a quilt. It looks like there's a 30th anniversary for Punk and Drublic, which is the one that everybody's like, that's it. That's the one. I don't even think this is anything, but I'm gonna look up
is that like
Ramon.
a fan made box set?
Yeah, like all of them are like they're like Etsy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so this is the Ramones one. Let me see if I can find it. Images. It'll be easier this way. Yeah, this one here. Weird Tales of the Ramones. This is the
Oh
one that I
yeah, it
have.
was like a comic book.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. The track listings on the back. I didn't have the vinyl obviously, but I had the
Yeah.
CDs. It was cool as shit, but it's just the same fucking Ramones songs. Like you know what I mean? Like it didn't change. I knew all the songs. There were no new anything. And by the way, the Ramones definitely sounded better live, in my
Oh,
opinion.
without a doubt. I think the most annoying thing about the Ramones is like it was funny because like when they started in the late 70s, they were playing incredibly fast compared to all the other bands. But now with modern context, you listen to the Ramones and you're just like, all right, we get it. You're the Beatles if they weren't as good at their instruments.
Yeah.
You know,
Rock. Why you guys, you were like in your 50s. You're still talking about high school.
yeah,
You guys gotta stop it.
yeah, and then you'd hear their live albums. Yeah, like you'd hear their live albums and you're like, "Oh, this is much better."
Yeah.
I always thought, just as a sidebar fact about the Ramones, I always thought one of the most brilliant things about the Ramones was their ability to, like, Dee Dee would go up to the mic and you would go, what they are, like,
Yeah.
incoherently count off the song. They would have a sizable gap between four and the downbeat of the song. And then they would all come in at a different tempo at all perfectly at the exact same time.
Yeah,
You know,
right after vote.
because when I was in high school, I got obsessed with the Ramones, and I remember like, and YouTube was getting big when I was in high school, so I watched a lot of Ramones shit all the time, and every video, incoherent count off, wrong tempo, huge gap, whole band start to the exact same time, on the same tempo, utterly impressive every single fucking time. Say what you want about the Ramones, musical ability.
The
Just that
Ramones in
whole
general, yeah.
no, see, because I like we joke the Ramones have 5 songs, but I still
They're
really
good
like the
songs.
Ramones.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
They are godfathers of the genre for sure.
I actually, sorry, this is a tangent off of a tangent,
Go
but
for
I
it.
was trying to find, and this actually, let's go into your other topic you wanted to talk about where having trouble discovering new bands is.
Mhm.
I was going through that the other day, and I've been trying to, because I feel like every time you have sort of a big moment in your, how do I want to phrase this? I don't know exactly how to clearly represent this idea, but it's like after going to, there was a lot of build up to the Counterpart show for me. So
Yeah.
before that, I was listening to a shitload of hardcore specifically like that. And then after going to the Counterpart show, after seeing 4 hardcore bands I really like, there was this like release. And after the show, the week after the show, I was like, I don't really want to listen to hardcore right now.
Yeah.
Like I haven't listened to Knock Loose in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like I haven't listened to Counterpart since the show because you get like the payoff. I was like, I think I was telling you about it when I was playing Call of Duty Vanguard and I was camo grinding really hard. And if you guys don't know Call of Duty, the thing is, if you're into, don't smirk at me because I love
No,
to play a
I'm one
children's
of those
game.
people. Please go
Uh,
on.
if you don't know Call of Duty, a big thing is you kill a bunch of people in the game, you get certain type of camos, and one of the type of camos you can get is the gold plated camo. That's hard for me. So it was like I made it a big deal in my head to get the gold plated camo. And it was such a big fucking buildup. I worked so hard for it. When I finally got the gold plated camo, it was just such a sense of relief that I didn't play the game for like 6 months
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't need anything from this game anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the same thing happened with like listening to hardcore music where I was like listening to, or that specific type, and I was listening to like so much and all this other shit. So like after the Counterpart show, there was a huge release, and I was like, all right, I'm good on that right now. I need something else. But I'm still listening to like hardcore, but I shifted to more, Touche Amore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's sort
You
of that.
actually you've talked about them before.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
like them. There's bands like Touche Amore and like Defeater who are faster punk, but they have a little bit they kind of have more, they're more of like the hardcore punk energy, but they still have more of an emotional feel to them
Right.
like rather than say like a band like Black Flag or some shit like that, or like the Casualties or whatever. They sort of lean to a more heartfelt, um like emotionally heavy direction. So I was going down that route. And because I was going through my fucking, I was going through my Spotify week, what's the fucking thing called?
Discover Weekly.
Discover Weekly. I was going
Yeah.
through Discover Weekly. I was going through all this stuff. I was trying to find new shit and like nothing was hitting. And then I just had that like eureka moment where I was just like, this is what I need right now. And I was going through all those bands, and how I'm going to relate this back to the Ramones is I'm scrolling through that. Shut up, Spotify. Oh, and I find this band, Modern Life is War, which relating that back to our Screeching Weasel conversation, where I
Yeah.
was saying I didn't get into Screeching Weasel a lot because I rolled my eyes at the name, and that just inadvertently made me not want to check them out.
Yeah.
This was another band, Modern Life is War. They were a
Uh-huh.
similar band where I was like, calm down, fellas.
Yeah. We get it.
Which, me growing up passionately listening to emo music, where do I get off?
Right.
But so I go, Modern Life is War. I'm listening to them, and you know how Ramones have that one song that's just Ramones?
Yeah. Yeah.
Modern Life is War's top song on their Spotify is DEADRAMONES.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they hit the chorus very similar to the Ramones chorus,
DEADRAMONES. All right.
something like that.
Do they
But
do
yeah,
it again too?
DEAD. But yeah, that's like that's the long-winded way of relating back to the Ramones conversation, but like kind of similar to something you wanted to bring up on the podcast today. Is that was like my whole journey of trying to like figure out, because I feel like for me, I listen to things, I go through stages. I go through these mini stages where I'm like, right now I'm into this type, right now I'm into this type. And I've moved on to sort of expand the sound from less, you know what it was? You know what it was for me actually? Is like going to the Counterpart show. And like sort of in that like more tough guy world of hardcore, it made me start to realize like I don't feel like I fit in as much here. I still love this style of music, but it made me realize I was like, I don't know if I fit in as much here. So
Yeah.
it like it that music satisfied it filled my hole differently. No,
Your hole's better. Right.
it filled that satisfaction hole, as
Right.
we all know about.
Filled you up.
Yes. Those tough guys weren't filling me up the same way, Pat.
Right. It had to you needed them in your guts.
Yeah.
That's how much you needed them up you inside you. I don't
Yeah.
think it should be, if I may be completely frank with you, Spotify, I know you listen. We got the lawyers on board and everything. Maybe you should call it, because Discover Weekly was on point for me. What was the band that I you mentioned earlier you had heard of? This is what sparked this conversation, was the band I sent you that I couldn't pronounce. Was it Jano? Something
Oh, Drive Like Jehu.
Drive, yeah, that. Drive Like Jehu.
Yeah.
I don't I ask you if that is how you say it. You say yes, that's how I say it. That's become an issue with me, but I digress. If anybody has that dilemma, please let me know. If you've ever only read it, you've never heard it. That was an issue, maybe I think only in our generation, and I know a lot of people of our generation listen. Please pound off. Let me know. Melancholy was another band that. What do you say? Melancholy.
No,
You say
no,
it
it's
correctly,
not.
right? Sure.
No, no. We were arguing about that before the podcast. Melancholy
Hey,
is
look,
you not. No, Patrick, please. Patrick, please. Melancholy is you not reading the word.
yeah.
It ends with IN, and you're like, that's melancholy.
Until we get them on here, I'm going Melancholy.
Can we bring back, did we talk about it on the last episode? King of Pussy?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't read.
Yeah, but that's not is I pronounce it.
I'm
That's
look,
not
if they can call it the Mandela effect for everyone just being wrong about things, then I'm going to call this the Pat effect. Okay. Oh, I remember Nelson Mandela died. Well, you're just wrong.
Yeah.
All it is. It's not a fucking cool effect.
That's
You're
being
all
like
wrong.
that's like showing up 3 hours late and you're like, God damn Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Oh
you got the
man,
time wrong.
you said it was 6. Like, nope, I said 3. Like, so it's a.
Well,
This is the Pat effect.
you know what my favorite thing about the Mandela effect is? They'll be like, because of the Mandela effect, you didn't realize Fruit Loops was spelled RFOOT. And then people are your reaction is supposed to be like,
No, that's
whoa.
Florida education.
But no, not even that, because
Oh,
like everyone should assume like Fruit Loops is gonna be RFUIT.
right.
Or FRUIT. That's how fruit spelled. But people are like, because of the Mandela effect, it's all FROOT. And like the reaction that you're then supposed to have based off their energy is like, whoa, holy,
Yeah,
and
you just
and
blew
you're
my.
like, no. All that happens after that is you go, oh shit. And it's like, don't call it the Mandela effect. That makes it feel like this big fucking thing where you're just like, oh yeah, no, just off history, I would have assumed fruit was spelled the right way, but
Yeah,
because of crony capitalism and evil businesses, you spelled it with 2 zeros. So not only is my kid getting diabetes, he's also getting fucking more stupid.
and you're gonna fuck his mind up later on when you tell him it's spelled different, because honestly, we don't have any proof. You can
Yeah,
just tell us that's what it is. History is written by the victors, Andy, and
but yeah.
that is the fruits.
No, here's my thing. It's not a pronunciation issue. It's a you not getting to the end of a word issue.
I don't
And I'll
know
bring
how
up the example one more time. You called King of Prussia King of Pussy.
King of
You
Pussy.
just
Yeah,
yeah. Which also too
I
brings your
added
whole
letters.
which also brings your whole judgment skill into question, where
It's the
you're
Pat
like,
effect.
we're all right, fair enough. You know what? It's the Pat effect. The Pat effect is where you get a teensy weensy bit of information, and then you go, oh, I have the whole story. That's the
Now you
Pat
know.
effect.
See, you know me. See, you know me. You know
Fair
me.
enough.
So
Fair enough.
I
It's
think
the Pat effect.
Discover Weekly was, not only was it driving like Jano, but it was also Drive Like Jano.
There's no N in that word. There's
Jehu.
no N. There's no
Jehu.
N.
I'm adding stuff. Jehu.
Jehu. Here's the thing. I don't even know if Jehu's the right pronunciation.
That's what I'm
But in
saying.
those sounds, In the sounds of Jehu, there is a Jehu.
Sounds of Jehu is a way better name, by the way. It's
Yeah,
the
you want to start
Sounds
that
of
band?
Jehu.
You want to start that band?
Dude, can we be Sounds of Jehu?
You want to be Sounds of Jehu?
Yeah, let's do that. Fuck
Let's do
yes,
it.
dude.
Let's
So
do it.
look for the new album coming out this summer. There is
Sounds of, check out our new album, King of Pussy by Sounds of Jehu.
and it,
All right, did you wait? I forget. Did you have a real point with this fucking Discover
this is
Weekly,
what I
or
was
are you
saying.
just gonna be like Millen Collin assaulted me?
there there was a I think Discover Weekly. I would probably rename it. They were on point this week, is what I would like to doff my cap to Spotify Discover Weekly this week, but I'd also like to rename it because
Pat, I hate to be this guy, but you fucked up one more time. It's Dolph my cap.
Really?
I think you said Dolph, like Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, like Dolph Lundgren. I was actually thinking, but
wait, let me double check. I might
this one I'm not gonna die on this hill. I was probably
Oh no, I'm wrong. It's Dolph, Doff.
Okay, so wait. Oh, so yeah, you were right. You said Dolph.
No, I said Dolph. Doth.
Damn, we're fine. Well, okay, so I just added an L. I'm adding letters today.
You were closer. I take it back.
So I'd like to give a curtsy to Spotify Discover Weekly, but rename it just Reminder Weekly. Like it's kind of like reminding me because it's
a little half and half actually.
Well, the Jehu thing was like that was like okay, now I'm like now that is it's an older band that now I'm discovering, sure, but then they also played me like Avail, which just reminded me, oh yeah, I fucking love Avail. So I kind of went to rediscover them and actually found out that they put new music out apparently last year. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So it's like it's I would like to suggest from going forward, I will always have new music to talk about, but it may not be new music, but it would be new in the sense of to me or to you guys on the show. So that is my vow going forward. There will always be new music to talk about on my end, even if it's old music that I've listened to. But Avail, their album from 2021, that was another thing, is not being so up to date on them kind of made me feel like, oh, is this like a reissue or something like that? But no, it's 2021. They put out a new album. Damn it. March? No, Satiate. I said that right. Avail, Satiate.
Well, actually, speaking of old music, I found old music that I wanted to talk about because I thought about this. Where's my tweet? I got rid of my tweet.
Oh, damn, they're fucking Elon's silencing you. Sons of bitches. Also, shout out to that. Are you gonna bring up that podcast?
What podcast? Oh, we can go out on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to bring this up before we run out of time. Oh, that's another thing we're doing. We're
actually trying to be prepared.
Yeah, no. We're here's the thing. We're always prepared, but you and me have a propensity to fucking ramble.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And legitimate. So we did it on PITM with the when we were doing D&D because we broke up D&D to the main episode and the Patreon.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure we didn't go long on the main episode. So we set up a timer for like an hour and change and we kept it like strict to that. And then I started to realize I was like, yeah, me and Pat can do a clean 2 hours on fucking, and we don't need to.
Yeah. It's not on topics that we're covering. Like that's the thing is like talking is lovely. I love talking to Andy and I love like chatting with my buddy, catching up, or just kind of joking about stuff or running off on a riff train. But if we're trying to put out content for people to consume, like they don't necessarily love when we go, oh, anyway, so I was on the train one day.
I also
little kid energy.
It's also the funniest ask to be like, hey, check out this podcast you never heard of. All right, how long is it? 9 fucking hours.
Yeah, it's like a clean 245. Clean 245. You driving a DC anytime soon?
Oh, don't worry. We get to topics at some point.
Yeah, at some point, about 40 minutes in, we start talking about Warped Tour.
But yeah, we're incorporating timers to stay on task. But no, I wanted to talk about this. I had this idea randomly because my wife randomly, she's been off, so she's been doing some extra Christmas shopping, and she hit up Target at like 7:30 in the morning, which I just think I think that's like a white girl's Christmas. That's just like a white lady's dream. And I gotta be honest, as a fellow honk, I love a good Target.
I
I
was
love
gonna
a good
say
I will say this though, Target, they're kind of all the same at this point.
that's the
Like,
that's the comforting part of it is you can go to any Target at 7:30 in the morning. Let me tell you, you go to a foreign Target at 7:30 in the morning, you can go in there at any point, and you're gonna know exactly where everything is.
yeah, fair enough. Fair
That's the
enough.
comforting part. Walmart's not as much like that. There's the fires are in different aisles in each store. So
You can't really get your heroin in the same spot every time.
it's not as fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, like the amount of times I've overdosed on fentanyl in a fucking Walmart.
I remember I went to a Walmart recently and I needed an HDMI cable. And the girl working in electronics, I was like, "Where are your HDMI cables?" And she's like, "What are those?" I'm like, "We need to shut this whole place down." No, I gotta be honest, I'm pro Walmart. You need something really specific at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great find. But sorry, I was your wife was at Target at 7:30.
Oh yeah, and she picked up a Sublime sweatshirt that she was real
What?
hyped. Yeah, that she was real hyped about, and it got me like thinking about Sublime. And I gotta be honest, I like Sublime, and I get a little eye rolly, at the way people like hate on bands like Sublime, and this goes to the tweet I have, or like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Here, let me just read the tweet to give sort of context to the conversation I want to have. But I said shitting on Sublime and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, in my opinion, has always been basic bitch activity. The reality of the situation is we all know they kind of suck and we all kind of like them. Anything other than that, I see as a lie. And I still firmly believe that because
Yeah.
I remember I grew up. My dad, I remember my brother really liked Sublime. My dad really liked the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I always liked them enough. I
Man,
never
your
was like,
family fucks, dude.
thanks, man. I always liked them enough. I was never like, oh, these are my top bands. Although I will say this, Anthony Kiedis, I read his autobiography. Good fucking read. That's a really good book. Oh, and a sidebar on that. I remember when I heard him on Rogan, I was like, it hit me, and I was like, wow, I've been on this earth for over 30 years. I had no clue what his voice sounded like.
Yeah,
Like
he has a list,
talking,
doesn't he?
obviously
Yeah.
singing, but like talking, his voice is insane.
Yeah, I've only stared at his dick in a sock. I've never actually heard his words before.
I know the exact contours of every inch of his dick, but I
Yeah.
didn't know how high pitched his voice was.
I'm very familiar with his history with heroin, but
Yeah,
like, does he like cats or dogs?
that is funny. I am more familiar with his history of drug abuse than the sound of his voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it got me thinking about that because I remember, um, it was actually I didn't realize it until like getting into comedy. Like when you and me started comedy around the same time, right?
Yeah, I'd say roundabout. Yeah.
And like around the time we started, the sort of like nerdy alt comedy shit was like real big. And it
Yeah.
was a specific thing where it was like doing comedy and being a nerd. Now the thing is like doing comedy and being like a fucking social activist or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like the nerd shit specifically was really popular. And I remember I remembered through that I got introduced to the idea that I was like there's people that think Sublime and Red Hot Chili Peppers like really fucking suck. And I always like rolled my eyes at that because I was like, everyone likes a Sublime song. Everyone likes a Chili Pepper song. But also, I'm not gonna walk around and be like, they're the best versions of that music.
Right. Yeah. They're to me, like it's kind of, I think the thing that's so frustrating about it is the fact that it's not just thinking of like, oh, music's subjective. It's more of the fact that like, no, they're really not that bad. It's
Yeah.
really, it could, these are actually examples of bands that I would put on the GDP Slappy Boppers playlist.
Oh,
This is a
yeah.
thing
We haven't
where
brought that up in a minute.
you could play this, like you could kind of play them, most of their songs, at least their top 5 on Spotify or Apple Music. If you like if you were able to look at their 5 most popular songs, they're probably safe to play in almost any scenario with any gathering of people, and you should not offend but if you even do, if somebody gets like, oh, these guys suck, I think enough people will be like, nah, I'm bopping my head to this is a good song.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
Like,
dude. Linkin Park's pretty good. Just don't make fun of Linkin Park. They're pretty
oh
good.
no, I'll throw hands with anyone who shits on Linkin Park.
Like, I don't love Linkin Park. I will never say that they're the best band in the world. I like that, but see, that's the thing. I think that, like when we talk about like, oh, if somebody says the Beatles are my favorite band, it's like, I don't know why that bugs me, but it's when people say that bands like this. So another band that I would throw in this pile would be like the Foo Fighters. Like, they're a good band.
Yeah,
Like,
Here's my thing. It's like when you talk to someone and if they go Red Hot Chili Peppers are my favorite band. It's
right.
like it's like if someone goes trying to think. It's like if someone goes Shake Shack's the best restaurant. And you go Shake Shack's good, but like dude, you got to like do more things.
Yeah, they can't be your favorite. Like, yeah,
That's not Shake Shack's not the best version of that. You got to go like or it's like saying going like Shake Shack makes the best burger in the world. And you're like, they don't, dude.
no,
Absolutely not. It's good. It's good. Shake Shack's really good. But
yeah,
you're like,
that's a good point. Yeah,
it's not even like a question that there's just much better burgers out there than Shake Shack.
like to me, and I don't think it's necessarily. So this was I got a little bit of shit from but from my brother, so I don't give a shit. So he said something. I said Unearth was way better of a metal band than Slayer. Like I said, and they're not only they're my
I don't know
metal,
either of those enough to weigh in on that, to be honest.
and that's fair. But just imagine, like, it's not really a conversation. Like I said, just technically, musically, I am more entertained by Unearth because Slayer is more in with all due respect, more one dimensional. They don't have as much, they don't give me as much as Unearth does. Unearth has
Are you
breakdown.
aware you're wearing a Slayer shirt right now?
Yeah, I love Slayer. That's my point. I love Slayer, but if I'm gonna say which one's a better metal band, I have a clear, like, there's facts behind it. And
Well, there's like
it's the same thing that you're saying. Like, Red Hot Chili Peppers can be your favorite, I guess, but like, you gotta, like, there's so much more that they've influenced that you could check out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying is it gets so much. It's like those
yeah.
vitamins that for gay people a while back. It gets better.
Yeah.
Slayer gets better. They become Unearth at some point.
Gay kids in the Midwest and Red Hot Chili Peppers. It gets better, guys.
Yeah. and in like 13 years or something like that, when I'm still going, Unearth is the greatest band in the world. Like, people will go, dude, you haven't heard of fucking District 19. They're the best. Like, whatever. I don't know. I'm just making up I'm doing a what if act out, and I'll quit right now. Kill myself. Bye-bye.
I wasn't mad about any of that.
Oh,
District
okay.
19. District 19 does sound like a shitty hardcore band at your high school.
Can that be our side project? From, what was the other one? The Jahoos? Music of
Sound like Jehu?
Sound like Jahoos. Are you okay?
No.
That guy sounds?
Constant pain. I had we got fucking what the fuck was it? It was like sriracha chicken and ranch pizza last night, and that was my breakfast. And that and
reminded me I have pizza in the fridge.
that and 3 cups of coffee was my breakfast. So
Oh.
the heartburn is singing back up today.
Oh,
no, it was great. I didn't regret any bit of it.
Sorry.
But yeah, no,
it's off topic again. I apologize.
It's this thing where it's like the Slayer conversation made me realize it when you brought up Slayer, it made me realize it. It's like when I don't even listen to a lot of Slayer. I just know enough music to know, like, when someone brings up Slayer, and I think this is even like similar to the Beatles. It's like when someone brings up Slayer, you're almost like, and they're like, then that's where it ends. You're like, no, that's where it starts.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's not this thing where it's like, and this kind of relates to like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Sublime, where you go, I'm not even saying they're bad.
Right.
I'm just saying you don't even realize this is the beginning.
Yeah,
we start here because, and this was, I was going to bring, I have all the songs in front of me. Like, Californication's a good song. Under the
Yeah.
Bridge is a great song.
Mhm.
Fucking Can't Stop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? All those songs. By the way,
Sorry. Go ahead.
exactly. By the Way is a great song. Like they're all the Zephyr song. They're all good songs. You know,
Mm,
I'm looking at Sublime, Santeria. Even though, well, actually
good song.
Santeria's good. Bad Fish, Date Rape, Song and Activity. All Wrong Way, Smoke Two Joints. They're all fun songs.
You say bad fish, I say good song.
I've heard that about you, Pat. And you only get jokes like that from the King of Pussy.
King of pussy.
But well, I'll say this too. Like if you try to stop, I'm trying my hardest to sound coherent. No, if I will say this though, if you hop on, say if you try to listen to the radio or you just go to fucking generic rock playlist or whatever,
Yeah.
you will get Red Hot Chili Peppers and Sublime jammed down your throat. And overexposure does lead to resentment. That's why I hate REM, the Pixies, and They Might Be Giants, because my brother would drive me into school every day, and it was one of the three or shut the fuck up. Like we were not listening to anything but REM, Pixies, and They Might Be Giants. And I got to be honest, I don't know if they're good bands or not. But because I associate them to my brother's musical waterboarding, I fucking hate them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
No,
the
that's
same.
fair.
It's the same thing with Red Hot Chili Peppers and Sublime. Is you get like over prescribed them basically. But they're not bad. They're not bad bands at all. So I get annoyed when people shit on them like they're the worst fucking bands that ever exist. When in actuality, it's my original point. This is where you start. When it comes to music, this is where you start, and then we have a whole bigger world for you.
And this is where it kind of it opened up early on for me. Remember, I know we've talked about this in the past of feeling like all the rules that are brought up in punk rock and all that other stuff, like that are always kind of like make you feel like when I was like, oh, I'm supposed to dress like this, or I'm supposed to think this, or I'm supposed to do this. And I always kind of felt like, why are you making so many rules? I thought this was supposed to be the everyone's included thing. Why am I feeling so excluded? That's kind of early on what shaped, I think, my musical taste and why I have I think probably a lot of people of our generation too, a lot of like people that listen, like maybe it's hardcore or punk centric, like main, like that's the base of it. A lot of it is, but it can grow to other things because you do learn. I remember I had for some reason, I don't know why I used this band in particular, but I remember saying this early, like probably like maybe late middle school, early high school. I remember saying, I don't care if the Wallflowers put out a good song. I'll listen to it because I just want to listen to good music. It doesn't matter who the band is if I like the music, and that really kind of opened up my like I don't know my taste a little bit more. Like it doesn't matter if so that's why like maybe it's more cool to hate like a band that like an emo band or something. I was definitely on point to going to this whole emo sucks, fucking you fucking pussies, like this weird fake hardcore street punk guy. But I was like, I can't fit in the clothes, so they don't welcome me. I have to buy my clothes at Sam's Club. So
hey Pat, I'll let you in on a little secret. A lot of us couldn't fit into the clothes.
But that's what I'm saying is like,
but you did anyway.
I literally did not fit in. That's what I'm saying. So that's the point is like it opened me up to all these bands. So yeah, I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't think they suck. You can't say Nickelback sucks. They're a good band. You just don't like them.
That you
just don't like them. Their drummer fucking rips, dude. Their drummer fucking Nickelback's drummer fucking rules, dude. Shout out to that guy, whatever his name, not Chad, the other guy, the Tad.
Tony Back.
Yeah, that
T-Back.
Not Chad Nickelback, Tad Nickelback. He's in the back. Not like Ben Nickelback or Devin Nickelback. They're like the Ramones. Their last name is Nickelback.
All right. Well, we agree.
Nickleb. Oh, fuck. I don't know how to spell it. ELE or EL?
NICK. Pussy. I don't know.
Pussies.
RMLS. We got to get out of here in a second, but I do. We do. It's so here's the thing. we have this podcast. I try to have as many as possible. Pat, he's just a well of hot takes. If you're ready, if you hop on and you go, man, I could use a hot take today. I could use something that just divides a room. You call up
I
your
could
buddy.
use some hot takes and some even hotter burps into the microphone.
Yeah. If that's what you need, you call up your buddy Pat. And recently we felt like we had some things. Now, over time, at the time, I thought it was a pretty hot take, but after current reflection on it, it was probably the most proper take ever. And it just feels good because sometimes there's a bit of a people are kind of like split on the issue. So it's good to get validated.
Yeah.
It's good to get validated by, respected people in the industry, knowledgeable musicians and stuff like that. So just
In the same subject of rules, right?
let's just randomly find out what the lead singer of the Get Up Kids happens to think about a random topic.
There's so many fucking rules to punk rock that I don't think people necessarily care about as much anymore, but I wonder how many of them come from Minor Threat.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Because they were so absolute about everything. You know, and I was just like, no drugs, no, can't make any money off of it. You know, like it's just
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you heard it here first. The lead singer of the Get Up Kids agrees with Pat 100%. Validation. We have received you. I wish that came out more clever, but
Well, yeah, and not
we're
only
here where we are.
I am in good company as well because Get Up Kids spawned a band that I love. Are you familiar with Reggie and the Full Effect?
Familiar, do not really listen to them. Actually, honestly, the only time I've really listened to them was when we were doing What If, and you had me listen to that one album.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like it kind of makes me feel good, like like the same thing of like you should be doing this for the music, you should be doing this for the feeling of it, doing it for the artistry, but also maybe you shouldn't, limit so many of your fucking teenagers like you're running a goddamn cult and say, this is exactly how you should live. Look at my lifestyle. Dude, look at Ian MacKaye and tell me that's the way you want to live. Tell me that's the way you want to live. Tell me that's how you want to turn out. Like that dick shit.
Yeah. I got plenty of things to disagree with Ian MacKaye, but I remember the last nail in the fucking coffin. Let me see if I can find this, but he had this video. I don't know if we listened to it together or what, but he had this video where he was breaking down why skateboarding was magical.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It clearly.
Also, I've got some thoughts on skateboarding as well. If you don't mind, sit down, please. It's something like that, right? It says,
it clearly sounded like a dude. Oh, dude, it was crazy. Because it just sounded like, now I don't know how much this dude actually fucking skates, but it sounded like a guy who started skating and then a week later was like, this is my personality. It was crazy, man.
From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
I mean, that just adds so much work. That's punk rock.
You ready, punk rock fans?
You ready, punk rock fans?
You ready to rip up a bowl?
The king of punk went to the Library of Congress to talk about skateboarding. I didn't even know this was the Library of Congress.
Is he there?
Oh, I can't spell his name. Mac K.
I want to be here every moment. I want to be present every moment. However, there was nothing going on, so I became a skateboarder.
What a fucking dork.
Skateboarding is not a hobby.
Drink some water.
And it's not a sport. Skateboarding is a way of learning how to redefine the world around you. It's a way of getting out of the house, connecting with other people, and looking at the world through different sets of eyes. When you're a skateboarder, especially in the 1970s, when everyone thought it was a hobby, they all thought it was like a strange version of a yo-yo or a hula hoop.
I just love, here's my thing. I'm not even anti-skateboarding. I just watched, bro, I literally last night watched, you ever hear Epically Latered?
Yeah, dude, yeah. I watched the Bam Margera
If you guys have never, you just watched the Bam Margera one? I almost cried. I love him so much.
Yeah. I hope, hey, this one's dedicated to you, Bam. I hope you fucking pull out of this, bro. You've been through a lot. You've also done a lot, but I want you to get better.
For real, he was my fucking guy when I was younger, so it was making me sad. But no, I want for anyone who doesn't watch Epically Latered Vice, they do a lot of nonsense, but they make really good documentaries, and they have this skateboarding documentary series called Epically Latered. Like I like skateboarding, but also I fuck with skateboarding, I respect it, but also at the same fucking time, it probably has the highest caliber of people trying and giving up ever.
Yeah.
That's the definition of a fucking hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And like, this is the perfect example of like, I'm somebody who has like I've not really ever been a skater. I tried when I was younger, but I didn't have the balance, or I was too fat. I don't know what it was, but it was essentially not a thing that I did, but I did enjoy watching it. And I loved, the culture, obviously the music. There's a lot of crossover with that, like skateboard and music that I like. So like I watched, CKY or other skate videos and shit like that. But this is the perfect example of agreeing 100% with somebody, but also hating them 100% as they're saying it.
Well,
like,
because
I would
you can
never go on record to say, yeah, I agree with him, even though I totally agree with him. It's
Oh
the
yeah,
way-
no, I would
like
after
seeing the
listening to
world through
this.
another set of eyes. And it's just
After
like,
listening to this, dude, I want to ban all skateboarding. I want to put spikes on all rails, all that shit that they do. I don't want skateboarding to exist. All wood should be burnt now because I heard this sentence. No, also too, he's exhausting because he reeks of like he's decided what his personality is.
yeah, the way
because
you love it is wrong. The way I
and
love it is right.
no. Well, no, not even that. He has like he sounds like a guy who sat at home and figured out his personality and then goes out into the world and fills in the blanks. And it's like just you're trying really hard to just exist.
Yeah.
Just be and I will say this, I recognize it because I used to be like that. So you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I can see my own cringe in you. Like I'll meet you halfway there on Ian. I'm not innocent of this shit. Cause when you're fucking growing up, it's hard to figure out your fucking identity. But also, as we can see in his we can look at his goddamn forehead and realize he's 68 probably.
I thought we were all using yo-yos out there.
Yeah, it's like
I was like, hey bud, you tell me if this is a yo-yo. And I did a split 470 in front of him, and then he never came back again.
But anyway, that was Ian Mackay, just steady being a silly goose. But yeah, we gotta
reassurance from alternative music legends themselves, the Get Up Kids.
Yes, the Get Up Kids have backed Drag the Lake 100%. It's official right here.
100% Lakers, just like us.
The Get Up Kids are Lakers. Guys, gals, everyone in between, thanks for hanging out. Go check out all Pat's stuff. Look up Baby Mermaid Productions, and you guys know where I'm at, Panties in the Mouth. Also, I've been doing mad Twitch streaming, so twitch.tv/Andy Malfrena. Thank you for hanging out with us. We love you all. Be about it. Peace.